to Creative Conversations, where creatives connect and inspire. I'm Sophia, and today we'll be diving into the creative world of Penny, looking at her beautiful paintings and her amazing art workshops. Hey Penny!
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on today. Can I just say, your aura is amazing. You've got such a lovely energy about you. It makes me feel calm just being in your presence.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet.
Do you feel that maybe that kind of reflects in your paintings?
Perhaps because I have always been in the therapy world.
Oh, really? Is
Since
that
a
where
young
you started off then?
Yeah, I was a therapist for 30 years.
Oh, that's amazing.
And
wow.
I think, I had to stop due to health reasons. And having worked in rehab clinics and
Wow, that's
spas.
quite intense.
Yeah, it is. It was. And then I decided I've always been a creative from my youth. Without realizing it, I think I'm creating the same environment I did as a therapist now onto canvas. So helping people create their own amulet.
Have you studied or did art therapy then? Was that part of it?
I had a life tidal wave and I knew I needed to have some sort of therapy.
Yeah.
And yes, I chose to go for art therapy,
Art
which I
therapy.
did for 4 years in the south of France.
Wow.
And
Well, that sounds like a nice way to
It
do
is.
therapy. If I was going to, I've been meaning to do therapy
Yeah.
for a long time, but it's the money that, it's expensive. And also you do have to take that time to heal, and that you don't know how long that's going to take, do you?
No.
And how long did it take you to finish the kind of art therapy and work through everything?
I went for 1 full week to get a full blow of it.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I left my children to be on for that length of time.
Yeah, I bet that's
to
quite a big
just
deal.
focus on myself,
Yeah.
because society doesn't teach us to look after ourselves. As a mum, you tend to put all of your energy into your children. So I felt a little selfish, but
Yeah.
I knew I needed it. I really needed it.
Yeah.
And after that, because of money, I only went 4 other times, just for 2 or 3 days, where I would leave the children and go away for a long weekend. And I did long distance. I was 2 hours away from her. So I used to take pictures and send, and we used to do like homework. I was lucky to have her because she really, really tried to guide me on the correct path.
Oh, really?
To get me away from seeking perfection.
That is a very difficult one, seeking perfection. And we were just having that conversation just before we came on the podcast about trying to break away from that need for perfection with art. And I used to be very much like that. I used to work with fine liners, and it was all
Okay.
very intricate patterns. And I still like that element of work, but it was too refined, and I wouldn't let myself just experiment,
Yeah.
And it was going to college and one of my tutors forcing me to draw with my left hand, which is not, my
Dominant.
not my dominant hand,
Yeah.
and with a stick as well, stick and ink, and
Okay.
just see what I created. And I actually really loved the outcome, and I thought, wow, this was beautiful, and it really does. It's perfection in its own way, and you can watch it evolve, and you can't have any control over that, and that in itself is very special.
Yeah.
And you're ambidextrous, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did I say that right?
Ambidextrous.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to say that wrong on the podcast, which is amazing. So you can work with both hands. Is there one that's you find easier to work with?
Well, my right hand is my real hand, my
Okay.
my life
real
at
hand.
my real life hand.
Yeah.
And my left hand, which I've learnt because I didn't really know what path I was on when I started this journey in 2012.
Yeah.
And it took me 4 years to develop my dual-handed technique. Everyday painting.
Every day.
15-20 minutes. I used it like a real therapy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just to perfect my art, because I'm a very good copier. I was involved in illustrations as well as a hobby. But it was to teach me about life, because life is like a blank canvas. And when we all have this vision that this is how we're going to be, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But working with 2 hands and my therapies like Reiki, energy.
Wow. We're going to get on.
Qigong.
I think a lot of us artists are quite spiritual. The
Yeah.
last artist that was on here, she's also got a very spiritual side to her, and she finds most of her inspiration comes from just putting herself out in nature.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Are you the same?
Yeah, well, I can do both. I kind of, as time goes on, I kind of manifest an image I want to see. I think because I was disabled when I was younger.
Oh, really?
My observation skills, I'm only now realizing as an artist and as I get older, my observation skills and my eye for detail, it's nearly like I have a memory that because I don't like to use pictures anymore.
No.
When I do my private commissions, I like to really paint from the way I feel and like seeing what appears and digging deep into the canvas to really work. And sometimes it's a challenge, but it really, really teaches you a coping strategy that no matter what is thrown at you, you'll always find a solution, even if it takes weeks.
That's beautiful, very inspiring to hear, because I've always found art like therapy for me, but I haven't ever researched or known how art can heal you or how it can be therapy. I just know that it saved me as a little girl. You know, I struggled in school massively, and whenever things got hard, I would lose myself in my paintings.
Yeah.
But what you just said resonated with me, because the reason I like painting is if something goes wrong, I don't see it as something going wrong. It's a happy mistake. I take time to reflect. I come back and then I realise, add this colour, change that into something else. And suddenly it's elevated to a design that's even better than what I originally thought of. And I guess that's kind of like life, isn't it?
It is.
Something bad can happen and it could evolve into something so much more beautiful. And you've just got to be open and flow with that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to teach now. Before, I didn't want to share my dual-handed technique because for me, it was something that saved me.
Yeah.
And I won't go into details with that, but it really saved me.
Really saved you.
And
how amazing that art could do that.
I know. It was my mantra.
Wow.
I wanted my creativity to heal me.
That's so powerful.
And when you touch the bottom of that deep dark hole and you need something to save you, I didn't want, because I was lucky enough, having worked as a therapist, I studied stress, but I didn't realize how it destroyed your life to the point. I knew it destroyed your life, but I didn't until it hits you. You don't know.
Oh God, stress is one of the worst things, isn't it? And recently, I suffered burnout properly for probably the second time in my life, and you don't realise how awful that is until you hit that point where your brain just goes, no, I can't do it anymore. And you can't think, you can't do anything, can you? And it can disable you, literally, can't it? Where you just lie there and you go, I'm done.
You don't know which direction to take. But I knew there was one direction I wasn't going to take, and I wasn't going to go to hospital where they wanted to put me in hospital. I just wanted my creativity to help me, and I was lucky that they listened to me in France, and I dropped from 55 kilos down to 46 kilos.
Whoa.
But I knew the reason why, and I was like, why are you going to put me on medication if I know the reason? I just need to heal myself. And this dual-handed technique is what I developed. It took me 4 years, but I'm now on a journey where I'm getting ready to share this with others, to really show them how art can heal and how it teaches you to dig deep to find a solution. And there's always a solution, like you said, and
always
sometimes it's more beautiful.
So is that where you are now? You want to help and inspire other young creators or people that might need that help?
I've worked with people from all walks of life. I work with people with brain injuries. I work with young people, I work with elderly people, I work with people middle-aged. I want to share it with everyone. And at the moment, I'm doing these dual-handed workshops, but I'm also doing
show us your art. I forgot to mention, everyone. Penny's brought some beautiful paintings for us to see. If you could
Oh,
possibly
okay.
show one of your pieces, that would be amazing, and maybe
this
give
is
us a little
just-
story behind it.
These are just.
Would you like me to hold a piece
Oh,
up? You
okay.
can pass it here.
It just shows the depth,
It's
the
beautiful
path
when you painted that, because it looks like you're almost walking through
to
the forest.
to find a path.
Yeah.
And we have so many paths that sometimes we miss them.
Yeah.
It's teaching us to realize, to be more alert, to look out for those paths, even if they're small, big.
That's beautiful.
And this one is
That one up too.
this one is just
That's
showing.
right up my street. I'm a photo artist too, so.
This one is just showing the simple things in life can make you so happy. You know, when you're walking along the street or in the field, you see all these little bits of colour, and that's it, really.
Well, they're beautiful.
Thank you
for
very
showing them.
much.
They are absolutely stunning, and I really like the colour that you use. It feels calming, kind of like your energy. It's like I can see how you're feeling when you painted those pieces, which is really lovely.
Thank you.
And actually, this piece here, I just love the colours. I think it's the pop of pink.
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty? I think it looks like one big aura coming out of the forest. I guess, is it meant to be a sunset, the pink hues? Or is it just down
Just
to
the light to
interpretation?
follow the light.
love
Honestly, I really just get the colour, and
Yeah.
usually it ends up being a forest or flowers, but we do a lot of reflection as well, water, because it teaches us to reflect
Yeah.
on ourselves.
Oh, I
look
see that
within,
actually. Yeah, that's beautiful.
because a lot of us forget to do that.
You know, I find the reason I paint flowers is I've done so many now since I was a kid that I don't really need to look at a flower anymore to paint it. It just falls out of me, you know, I have flowers coming out of my brain. And I think once you've painted something so much, I don't know if you had that's like therapy in itself, because you can switch off your brain completely and just create. And it's like doodling, I guess. But it's an amazing feeling when you can just shut down your brain for like 5 seconds and just be completely immersed in what you're creating.
In your world,
Yes.
it's your bubble where you know.
I bet you've created a beautiful magical world in your head too, because I think most of us artists do. And it is a form of escapism as well, isn't it?
I think it's like the world where we feel safe and there's no judgment, except from ourselves. Sometimes we're quite critical as an artist on ourselves. We can
How
be.
do you fight that then? Because if the art's meant to be to heal you and for therapy purposes, how do you stop that inner voice?
It's like everything in life. We've got we all have a right to get a bit of anger. We all have. Having therapy doesn't just teach you to remain calm. It helps you to face your challenges. So if I do get critical, I find my coping strategies, and I have to teach myself to deal with it.
Yeah.
And say, don't give up. And I sort out the problem, because that's life. Or I could just give up, but I'm not going to give up.
No.
So it's therapeutic in that it's not just focusing on calm.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic because life is not all plain sailing.
Yeah.
So
That's so lovely, very inspiring. So you mentioned the power of touch and its ability to foster an inner peace. How do you see the idea overlapping with the power of creativity?
well, I think they both work really well together. I'm lucky that I've been able to work in both domains, helping people through the power of touch, and helping people through creativity. They both bring an inner peace. And once you have inner peace, for me, no matter what is going on in your life, you will face it with a determined attitude. You will have that fighting spirit. And once you have inner peace, your health is better. Your mindset is better. Your head is clearer.
So true.
And it's not inner peace from having to go to church or having to be spiritual. It's just knowing what ticks right inside for you and your food. So being a therapist, I know about diet, how important it is for your inner well-being.
I'm very lucky that my partner is very into his healthy eating and healthy foods, because it keeps me on that straight and narrow. And you're right, it makes all the difference. And The other day, I decided to rebel from my boyfriend. And I was like, I'm going to eat what I want. And we were in Lidl's, I bought the sugariest cereal I could find. And I think I ate it for 2 days and I felt
Rubbish.
horrendous. And in the end, I gave it to my brother and went, take this away from me. I've got this unhealthy relationship with this cereal. It's clearly not agreeing with me. I could see it in my skin. I felt like it was cutting my gums, like the sugar in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, this is horrendous. And people who aren't as lucky as us to have all that healthy food coming through, you get used to that and you don't realise what an effect it's having on your body.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and your gut is so connected to your mind, which I guess is where you're coming from, is that you can control that massively, like how you're feeling.
Definitely. For me, they say it's your second brain, but for me, my gut is my first brain and my brain is my second brain, because for me, having been in plaster from here down for 4 years.
Could you tell us a bit more about that, if you don't mind?
I didn't walk, and
really?
they didn't find out till I was 1, and it's a CDH, congenital dislocation of the hip. But because they didn't find out till late in my life, I was only 1. But if they'd found it when I was young, more of a baby, they could have cured it with diapers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, my left leg was much shorter than my right leg, so they had to do huge manipulation, and my mum didn't want me to be operated, because I would have been in hospital for over 6 months. In those days, it's not like it is now.
No.
And having been in plaster for 4 years, it has the stress of being in hospital regularly and being with a plaster, constricted with a plaster, has affected my health. So I think, for me, like I said, the whole digestive system is so sensitive. For me, it's basically what keeps me going is if I eat proper food.
Really?
Well, and it doesn't mean...
So when could you walk again? When was that point?
I was properly, not until I was 6.
6 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
But obviously, because I was in plaster, it took me years to be able to walk properly. I couldn't run at school.
Do you think that made it difficult having fun as a kid? You know, those important moments you have in your childhood that are meant to be like playtime if you struggle with the movement side of things.
Well, it had huge consequences, and my creativity is what kept me, because I couldn't run like the others, I couldn't play like the others, and I was very attached to my mum, so people didn't really understand. You can imagine the bullying, because if it happened nowadays, it wouldn't be like it was then.
Kids are so evil. I mean, I feel like it's before you grow up and learn what's respectable about how to treat people, and you can't blame them because they're kids. But like, my boyfriend was really badly bullied. I think I was so in La La Land that no one could bully me even if they wanted to when I was a kid. I was a total hippie. But I do listen to what kids, like the stories you go through in school. You think that's savage. What the hell? What kind of parenting was happening with those kids? What was happening at home to act like that on another child is just crazy.
But is it society that just trains us that when you're different,
you shouldn't like someone that's different?
No, and I think that
it still happens when you get older, to be honest.
Yeah, even
just
if
in different forms.
Yeah, because you can walk away easier, but at school you're stuck in a class. Yeah. But my parents in those days made me realize that I wasn't used to use it as an excuse. So I just faced life, and it was a struggle, but I'm still here, and I tried my hardest to fit in. Yeah. But I will have to say it's only when I had my nervous breakdown in 2012, I decided I'm going to surrender. I can't always fit in. No. And either you accept me as I am, or you don't accept me.
It's crazy that sometimes you have to hit absolute rock bottom. Yeah. Where you mentally just go, I can't cope anymore.
No.
And that is when you either it goes wrong or you go, okay, it's time for change. You know, and it's only up from there. And sometimes you really do just have to hit that point to be able to evolve as a person.
And just put that stop, you know, like when the train barrier comes down, you're like,
exactly.
That's it. But it wasn't easy.
No.
But I surrendered that I am different.
Yeah.
Why? That's why my life.
And how liberating to be like, I am. I'm going to be different.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you more accept yourself now? Do you feel like you can be different and you're okay with it?
I am. The whole picture of my youth, my marriage, everything, it all just fits in. But obviously there's some people that have abandoned me, but
I guess that's part of life. Unfortunately, it's very sad. But you know, for me, when I was a hippie back in the day, I had a crazy group of friends, and they were great fun, you know, for partying. But when I wanted to grow up and start focusing seriously on my career, I realised I couldn't keep on in that kind of lifestyle, you know, and unfortunately, some of them weren't ready for that change either, and I had to let some of them go, and it's so sad, but unfortunately that is just the way life is. And I'm sure now that you're following your creative calling and doing that, you're probably meeting people that are on your wavelength, that are creative too, that have kind of gone through similar stories as you, and you find a new kind of creative community of people.
Yeah, that's why I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why I think my body told me I could no longer do massage because of my legs.
Oh.
So I thought, well, now is the time to divert all my energy to creativity.
Yeah.
And that's why, for example, on Monday the 24th of February.
Oh, yes. Would you like to tell us a bit about that? Because I'm interested in hearing more. So what is this event you're doing?
It's in recognition of Emotional Wellness Day.
Okay.
Having been through quite a passage myself.
Yeah.
But oops, sorry, I hit the microphone.
That's okay.
It's behind me, but I know that there are many people out there that don't know the power of creativity.
No.
And it's an evening where we're only painting a simple, lovely, fresh model, using one hand for this one.
Yeah.
And
only one hand.
Yeah.
Is that difficult?
It is for me now.
Yeah, because you work with both hands.
But it brings me to the real world. For me, it's made me more grounded.
Yeah.
Because too much of anything is not good. No. And I don't want to be fully in my fairyland all the time.
I completely get that.
Because I would love to be there full time, but there's a real part to the world, and I struggle
with that. The real part, the adulting. I don't like it. The thing is, in my world, it's just like Alice in Wonderland. It's all flowers and fairies, and suddenly I'm like, I've got to do all that serious stuff. I don't want to do it.
Well, neither do I, but sometimes
you have
as
to.
a mum of 3, I have to.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this guided session at Time and Chili's.
Time and Chili's.
It's an Indian restaurant.
And that's in Chichester, isn't it?
Near Birdham.
Near Birdham?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know the exact place, actually.
It used to be the Black Horse Pub, I think, or something.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
It's just there on the right as you head towards Birdham.
My mum used to live in Bracklesham, so
I
think
nice.
I've drove past that place a few times. Okay, so you're doing a painting workshop
painting workshop for a purpose-led workshop focusing on Emotional Wellness Day. I thought it would make a nice link.
That's beautiful, and what a good day to be doing it on.
As I've just moved to Chichester, this is my first event. I used to run events all over Surrey, London.
Oh, wow.
As far as I did Carfest as well.
Oh, really?
And I just thought that the Time and Chili's was nice because of the Indian cuisine.
Yeah.
So there'll be spice and colour. You know how spices, just the smell makes you feel good. And
do you have them smelling the spices to kind of help inspire them with the art, or would they have the food that's there?
Oh no, they're actually cooking. So the clients can actually purchase some little dishes and they can eat and paint.
It's all about the senses.
Yeah. And
that sounds amazing. I might have to come and join.
You're more than welcome.
So how do people get a ticket for this then? How do they book?
If you go on my website, Penny's Art Workshops.
Penny's Art Workshops.
.com, and on there it just says book book a ticket.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd love to come and see this. It sounds amazing.
It would be lovely if you could.
And I love the connection between therapy and art.
But I literally just guide everyone step by step.
Step by step.
And most people, when they come, because it's for creatives or non-creatives, but it's quite funny not funny, but it's quite interesting for me to see the switch of the people from the beginning to the end. When they arrive, they're very critical about themselves, saying they've never touched a brush. They're the worst creative.
Yeah, they all say it, don't they?
Yeah.
So many people say, "Oh, I'm not an artist." Well, what determines you to be an artist? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just haven't found your style yet. You haven't found what you like doing.
What you feel comfortable with.
Do you know what is it this that they'll be painting?
Yeah,
is this the
one.
design?
Yes, that one. So
and look how calming that is.
I literally just guide them step by background, just giving them a warm up, and then we do all the detail.
Wow.
But
do you teach the mixing of colours?
Yes, everything.
Wow.
But it's not like an art lesson because it's only for 2 hours. It's like just a moment of connecting with your creativity, having a fun evening, just waiting to see what appears, because you're all following one model, but we're all so unique that everyone's going to have a different twist to it.
Yeah.
And somebody usually adds something fun or a little tweaks it into their way, which is really nice.
That's what's fascinating, is that although you're teaching the same painting to everyone will have a different version of it.
Yeah.
And I bet that's really cool to see them all together.
You should see how happy they are at the end, and they all love it.
What a beautiful feeling.
So it's really good for creative or non-creative, and basically it just takes you out of your comfort zone. Yeah. So you at the end, you've been so trying to make it work. At the end, you feel really recharged and so proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to share with everyone, how powerful it can be just to have a little purposeful led art session.
That's so beautiful. And it's amazing to see that you're sharing that light with everyone and inspiring other people as well. That's so cool. How do the different things in your life shape your artwork?
Different things like what?
So the events in your life and things that have made you feel certain ways, how does that shape the way you create? How does that inspire your work?
I guess it is what gives me the most confidence.
Yeah.
In that this is my safe world.
Yeah.
And my dual-handed technique is kind of my safe world that I know that I have such a lovely product that I know that it can help many people, whether with mental health issues, brain injuries, just people in an everyday life, to give them the same inspiration, to show them the link between art and life. And also I have gone into it sounds kind of silly, but I'm quite open. I'm going to be quite open today, because there are bits of me that I still hide.
Yeah.
But there's my life has been quite challenging, because I'm lucky compared to some people. That's what I always remember. I'm very lucky compared to many people, but my life has been a challenge. And because I'm not bringing out my violin, but because I've been quite lonely and I've always been segregated, because in those days when I had the plaster, I used to have to be hidden. I wasn't invited, but my brother was invited.
That's very difficult, especially for a young person who doesn't quite understand what's going on at that point. You know?
Yeah, but it's kind of like a seed that's planted in your head.
Yeah.
That you become a problem for everyone. So so my life has kind of been like, I'm happy here, I know I can do hair, I can talk hair.
Yeah.
But socially I've always had difficulties to fit in, which is probably from my background, but I have tried. And for me to go to a networking event to meet James took a lot of courage for me to go.
It's probably your superpower to be different, because to be an artist, I think you do have to be. You can't blend in with everyone else, and it's kind of accepting that and just going with it and finding out
Yeah.
who you really are.
Yeah.
And obviously you come alive when you're painting, and that's amazing that you found that.
And that led me to when I did art exhibitions in France, because I didn't want to just show off what I could do. I would invite people in to paint a big canvas with me. So I created the background, and I would invite them to come and add something to the canvas just to play with the brush. And then when I moved to England, I decided to do community events where I raised money for charities and for the Disability Centre where I used to work in Surrey.
Yeah.
And one day driving home, I decided I wanted to be in a very happy place. And I saw a sign for a wedding show, and I decided, and since 2 years ago, I'm now in my 3rd year, I've created the signature canvas.
Really?
Where I go to weddings, a really lovely environment to be in, and the guests help me create a canvas for the couple on the wedding day. So this,
wow, that sounds so lovely.
To sum up how this has helped me, I think I'm really focused on sharing the power of creativity, how it brings big groups together, the joy it gives people. And from an individual level, it can be very therapeutic.
So special to give that back to the couple who's getting married, because they can keep that forever. So the signature canvas concept for weddings that's a really beautiful idea. I love it.
Thank you.
What has been the most memorable wedding canvas you've worked on?
All.
All of them? There's not one that stands out most?
The one that was... Well, I've been to Monaco to do a wedding there for
Monaco. Wow,
with the beach hut where they got engaged. The bride's best friend wanted to surprise her, so she contacted me to go down and create this canvas. Another one that they're all special, but the one that's different is another couple got engaged at Mount McKinley in Alaska. So I created the background with Mount McKinley, and all the guests added their trees at the front, and it's really beautiful.
So special.
It's really beautiful. But he surprised his bride.
Yeah.
She didn't know about it until the day.
What a beautiful surprise.
Yeah, and all the guests created all their different trees, and then my fun is to turn everybody's touch into one, and it's just a piece of artwork that they see every day to keep the memory living forever.
That's really... How do your workshops help participants explore their inner journeys, and why do you think art is such an effective medium for this?
Well, the dual-handed technique is you get a blank canvas, you choose your colors, and there's a magic that happens, because when people... when you get a blank canvas, if you present it to someone, they'll go, I don't know what to create. And with the dual-handed technique, I say, don't worry, this technique, we see what appears, and you dig deep, and we work with that. So straight away, there's a relief. They know that they're going to leave with a little masterpiece. They know that they're leaving with their original. Nobody else has the same canvas. And they know that they created it from how they feel. The guided sessions, it tends to be a little bit more rigid, but my coaching helps relax them to realize that they will be able to do it, because generally speaking, people arrive and they say that they're not going to be able to do it. But I literally guide you step by step by step, and if they have any questions, if they want me to help them, I'm there, because my objective is for them to leave feeling really happy with themselves.
I wonder if it could feel a bit like a guided meditation doing this. Do you know what I mean? Because you're taking them through it, and they're losing themselves in the art. I wonder if sometimes they can feel quite calm and therapeutic after, like they have had just a meditation.
That's what they usually tell me at the end. They went, your voice has been so calming.
You have got
it's
a very
really
calming
made
voice.
me feel...
you should read storybooks or something. You'd make a fortune.
No,
No?
I was told that I couldn't read properly.
Why?
Oh, just because, I don't know, at school.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah.
if we all listen to what was said to us at school, do you know what I mean? Like, I have dyspraxia.
Yeah.
So I was awful in school, and I was not bullied, but I think people used to laugh at me a lot when I couldn't read things or couldn't spell things. And,
Yeah.
you know, with dyspraxia, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like a coordination problem. So I would never be able to find my own classroom, even 4 years after being at school, you know, because I would get them all confused.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
they didn't have names for the classrooms. They'd be like numbers and letters. And that's my like biggest struggle. And I remember sometimes if I forgot what class I was meant to be going to, I'd end up just sitting in the bathroom for an hour until it was done. I know. And I felt like at the time I didn't know I was dyspraxic.
Yeah.
I just thought I was stupid.
Oh.
And I think a lot of us kids are made to feel that way, and it's not true. And it took me up until going to university when
To
they
realise.
went, girl, you've got something up with you. And they did the test, and they were like, oh, you're dyspraxic. And suddenly it all made sense.
Yeah.
You know? But I could have held on, and I still do, actually, hold on to what people said in school. And I have an inner voice that goes, you're stupid, when I do something wrong. And it's fighting that.
Yeah,
and being like,
yeah.
no, you're not. You know, your brain's just wired differently to other people. And that's okay, you know. But how have you got any advice on how to kind of fight that inner voice? Like those things that you went through as a child, how do you fight that now in your future self?
I just find coping strategies through my art.
Yeah.
And something that can be quite annoying for some people is I just accept it.
Yeah.
And like in my business, I know my strength.
Yeah.
And I know my weaknesses.
That is a good thing to have, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're in your business.
But some of us think we can do everything, and I was trying to do everything, and it's taken a huge weight off of my shoulder. That I just go around and talk to people and work with people, and share because we've all got our gift in this world.
So you're a big believer of getting other people coming together
to
work at their strengths.
Yeah,
that's so important.
And sharing. Like I have a friend that we're working together doing. She does all my admin for me and everything. But
I would love that. That'd be great. I hate admin so much. I think all creatives do, really.
Just to sit down in front of the computer.
Yeah. Isn't it a great feeling when you can just give it to someone else and be like, you can do that part? Do you do the promoting of your own workshops?
I do my promoting, but I have other people now that are helping me do it.
That's amazing. And, you've got a good little team.
Yeah. Because I believe I've reached a stage now where I want to go to another level.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to really make the team big.
Ready to take that next step.
But as far as getting that seed out of your head, when people come to paint, they usually say, well, I was told at school I was rubbish.
Yeah.
And straight away I'm like, well, you're not.
You're a kid.
Yeah.
You can't listen to that.
No.
And what they teach in school with art is so boring. So I've never been able to grasp drawing hands.
Yeah.
I'm still not good at it. And if I use that to judge
your creative skills.
Yeah. Well, then I wouldn't be an artist. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to I think you've got to be a bit stubborn when you're an artist, haven't you?
Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Try everything until you feel comfortable.
Yeah. So what is your ultimate vision for how art and creativity can impact people's lives on a larger scale?
I just believe that the way that I teach the dual-handed technique, the community events, showing that everybody can create together, working together, and my ultimate goal is to have a art cafe.
Oh, what a dream. If you start that up, let me know and I will be there.
Yeah.
I'm such a coffee addict for one, and also a hub where you can hang out with other creatives would be amazing.
And bring in non-creatives to show them.
Yeah, and inspire them as well.
Yeah, the wall's just going to be filled with paint. There'll be art workshops every day.
I can see it. That's a wonderful vision. So last question.
Yeah.
If you could give one message to people about the importance of creativity in life, what would it be?
Just try it to feel the freedom in expression, because sometimes we're all too worried about words.
Yeah.
And not finding words, but expressing on a canvas without even knowing it, for me, from my opinion, can be the most healing way. Because when we use words, they're great, but sometimes another side, so music, painting, for me, it's just a lovely, lovely way to find freedom in speech, and everybody will interpret what you've put on that canvas in their own way, and nobody knows really what you were really wanting to express.
That's what's beautiful about it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today. You've been inspiring to talk to. You've got a beautiful story, and I can't wait to come to one of your painting workshops.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, talking about painting workshops, where can everyone find you, Penny? What's your social handles?
Go on Facebook. I'm on Penny's Art.
Penny's Art.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And Penny's Art Workshops.
Penny's Art Workshops.
Yeah, both on Instagram and Facebook.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll be following you later.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for everyone that's listened in today. It's been an amazing chat, and make sure to come back next week. See ya.
Thank you.
Creative Conversations was hosted by Sophia Gray. It was recorded at Granary Studios, audio production by Granary Digital, additional production support and editing by James Jones. For more information, visit our website at granary.digital. To contact the show, email podcast@granary.digital. Please leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on social media.